Good journey, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Space Oats Live. I am the Crucial Crew member Jay, and we're gonna talk a lot about Star Wars tonight. We got a lot to talk about, actually. But first things first. Let's just talk about how close it is for me to be a passenger on the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. That is going to be happening very soon. Within a week from tomorrow, I'll be boarding. So can't wait for that to happen. Going to be pretty amazing. By the way, I'm going to change my camera view in a minute. I just want to pull up my agenda for tonight because that's basically what I want to make sure I have up here. So also want to make sure that I am actually going live. That's the other thing I want to make sure of. So yeah, okay. All right, I am good to go. I am streaming. Everything looks good. Everything looks great. All right, again, amazing. I'm going to switch camera views now because that way you won't see the reflection of what I'm watching on TV. Hello, Pete. How are you? Bear with me one moment. I'm switching my camera view just because I'm watching Star Wars and the reflection is really good in that camera angle. So I didn't want to mess up any copyright infringements or anything like that. Tabuite, by the way, got my Chandrila Starline glass. I'm getting psyched. I'm getting ready for next week, right? It's exciting. My cabin mate joining me here. Can't wait. I got a lot of stuff kind of right over here that I'm going to be carrying on. Maybe I'll show you a quick glimpse of that at some point if I can lift it up without everything spilling out of it. It's my Cantomo, so it's full of goodies, that I will be passing out on the Galactic Star Cruiser. Not passing out all of it, as I may, because I don't know if you were on the other day, but when I was doing my live stream the other day, I was talking about how my Cantomo started out as it was going to be a way for my little swag that I was going to give out to passengers and crew and so forth on the Star Cruiser. But it kind of turned in also to like a keepsake box / bringing everybody on board with me that I've met because of Star Cruiser. So I've been scouring my room of all the little trinkets that people have given me, whether that be little credits or little coins representing their crew or what have you. And I've basically filled my Cantomo with that as well. That is all in the bottom. So that is going to be with me the entire time. I wanted to kind of do that to kind of honor everybody's journey that I've passed when I was a crew member, and then take them with me on this voyage that I'm going to have. So because without them, they wouldn't have made my time at Star Cruiser so amazing. Without them, I may not even be going on Star Cruiser. Without them and their excitement, it really just is. That's half of it. That's half of what Star Cruiser was the passengers, the fans, the crew that actually did get to go as a passengers at some point. All of them together as one are going to be traveling with me. So that's kind of like what my Cantomo kind of came to be, but it does have a lot of things that I'm going to give out as well. There's 3 different coins that I have. Some are rarer than others. Funny enough, the one that I kind of wanted it to be the most rare ended up not being the most rare. I kind of realized that as I was counting through them today. So the one that I actually like the least is the rarest coin, because that's the one I have the least amount of. That was the second one that I did. The first one that I did, I have the most of. So probably will get that one if you're on the voyage as a crew member or a passenger. And then there's the Gaia chip. I'm calling it the Gaia chip because it's purple. And there's a good amount of those, honestly. And that one actually is dated for the cruise. So yeah, that one specifically, I'm going to make sure that that certain people get those as well. So I've actually already handed out one of my Gaia chips to a very special crew member that was on board and currently is at my location, but possibly is going to be going back. And who knows? Maybe she'll be. I don't think she'll be there next week for our voyage, but yeah, so pretty amazing. So we're already 5 minutes in, and we got a lot to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and start it off with the Today in Star Wars. So let's talk about Today in Star Wars. Today in Star Wars takes us all the way back to 1977, which is why I'm watching A New Hope tonight, because about 2 months after A New Hope was released, there was, I mean, obviously Star Wars was just everywhere. It was a big hit. Everybody was loving it. It was just such a unique story, something that had never been done before, a fantasy space film like that had never been done before. Completely different, blew everybody away, and mainly because of the characters that were in it. You had so many different amazing characters. You had a villain that you didn't even see his face, yet was so terrifying. You had a princess, you had a farm boy, you had a smuggler, a weird furry sidekick that they called a Wookiee. You had an old wizard. You had these stormtroopers, officers of the Empire. So much was in this movie. You had lightsabers, blasters, spaceships, different worlds, space stations, all sorts of things that just created all of this excitement. But the two things that I left out, because I've already said that I think one of the most crucial characters of the Star Wars film, and we talked about this before a couple weeks ago, is that being one of the droids. And actually, in my opinion, both of the droids are a crucial part of the Star Wars movie, the first one. And those two droids behind me there, my favorites, I mean, both of them, honestly, 1 and 2, R2-D2 and C-3PO, in that order. So we talked a lot about R2-D2 a couple weeks ago, and how I believe he is probably the most crucial character of the Star Wars movie, the original movie. C-3PO, his companion, made the movie so special, because if it was just R2-D2, you really didn't have much, because you didn't have a translator. You didn't know what R2-D2 was saying. C-3PO completed the pair. He was the one that was the voice for R2-D2, in a way. Or maybe not the voice, because sometimes what R2-D2 was saying, maybe you didn't want translated. And they got along. They were friends, pals, whatever you want to call it. But then again, they had their I'm watching C-3PO kick him right now. So it's like you had that moment where they didn't agree with each other. R2 knew way more than C-3PO did. We kind of found that out later on, that his memory had never been wiped, which was pretty awesome, that to know that he is carrying around with him all of the information from the prequel trilogies, and whatever happened in anywhere in between through the Clone Wars and everything. So much information. C-3PO is kind of like born again in a way. And R2 probably has that kind of like, I need to still take care of him almost. You see that familial relationship, that them being together. But C-3PO doesn't know everything. He thinks he does. And he kind of has his own ideas of what to do and the decisions to be made. And he always goes off, on his own agenda sometimes, which kind of gets him in trouble every now and then. But it's the quirks that make them work together. It's kind of like they've compared it to that Abbott and Costello kind of comedy. It does bring a comedy to the movie, which is a war movie in space, but you have that comedy element, and most of that comedy element comes from R2-D2 and C-3PO, which makes, I think, the film works so well with them. And it starts off with them. I mean, what movie starts off with really the majority of the story being about two droids, which is really awesome. But so that kind of sets up what Today in Star Wars is all about, because in July 18th, 1977, so this is 2 months after A New Hope was released, C-3PO actually landed the cover of People magazine. Now, why it was C-3PO and not R2-D2? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Again, C-3PO was the voice, and there, for the most part, for the better part of the film, R2-D2 did not have, he was a remote-controlled robot. Yes, Kenny Baker was inside of R2-D2 for certain shots to give him emotional, human character elements, but C-3PO was actually performed by an amazing individual, that being Anthony Daniels. Anthony Daniels is C-3PO, and if you've ever seen Anthony Daniels live, you will understand that. If you've ever read anything from him, I remember the old Star Wars Insiders. There used to be little excerpts, one-page excerpts from Anthony Daniels, and sometimes I read them and I was like, what in the world is he talking about? And then after like 3 or 4 times of reading it, you really got his humor, his sense of humor, and you really saw how much of C-3PO was inside of him. And they were going to actually use a different voice for C-3PO, but it was decided that Anthony Daniels was actually going to be the voice as well. And his portrayal of C-3PO, of that almost like Butler-esque mentality, and his movements being so robotic yet so human at times. Again, no facial movement at all, but just so much in his movement really gave an emotional feel to an emotionless character. And again, it just, both of them, 2 of my favorite characters of the Star Wars universe. I'm a big droid fan. I'll say it 10,000 times. I love all the droids. I love seeing the scenes with the droids all the time. I don't know why I never got into droid building, but just looking at the scene where they arrive on the Sandcrawler and seeing like R5-D4 and the other droids that are in there that you see pop up later on, the Gonk droids, and just other droids that you see pop up in Empire Strikes Back later on the Death Star, all sorts of places. The droids are just amazing. I love the droids. So the cover of People magazine, that's a big thing. I wanted to actually do research to see if there was any other non-human characters that ever laid on the cover of People magazine, but I didn't get a chance to do that today. So not really sure if that ever happened or not. But People magazine, a magazine for the people, and you have a robot on the cover, that's pretty amazing. That magazine, there was an article in there, and I couldn't find the article, honestly. I was trying to look for some way to get a hold of like the article in there to read that article, but the article that was basically based off the movie to kind of give a little people understanding of the behind the scenes of that character, and of Star Wars, because that character was just so amazing. There was an article on many of the different talented individuals that gave C-3PO, that brought C-3PO to life, and that pretty much had a really strong hand in that movie being a box office smash for the summer of '77. So yeah, like I said, Anthony Daniels being a big part of that character, and the portrayal of that character. I've seen him live many times. Well, not many times, a couple of times. I saw him, I think the first time I saw him live was in Celebration Orlando. Warwick Davis co-hosting with him, which was so funny. I'm glad I went to that panel. I actually was thinking about not going to that panel. And that was my first Star Wars Celebration. And I ended up going to that panel, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Again, you really got C-3PO because you understood that it really was Anthony Daniels. Warwick Davis, their banter back and forth, it almost makes you think that they hate each other. But it was just so much fun to like see him talk about his character as the most important character of the Star Wars universe, which is really amazing and fun. And it made me love C-3PO even more. I was actually, fun fact about that panel, it was my first Star Wars Celebration, and I was actually in the highlight reel for that celebration on StarWars.com when I went to that panel, because Anthony Daniels came down the aisle in the beginning of that panel, and he walked right past me. And yeah, I was in that highlight reel. So if you dig that up anywhere, I can't find it anywhere, but if you dig that up anywhere, you can actually spot me in the aisle he's walking down. And yeah, I have my Star Wars 40th anniversary hat on. I think I have a Wookiee Chewie shirt on. And then I have the Mickey ears, the ones that light up with the space scene. So yeah, if you come across that, there I am. I was like just so shocked that I didn't even know he was coming down the aisle until the last minute, and I turned around and there he was. I don't remember if I, shook his hand or anything, but yeah, it was really amazing. During that panel, they brought people up on stage, people in weird costumes, and they would talk to them. They would talk to people in the audience, which was pretty awesome. I loved that panel so much that I ended up going back to see his panel in Chicago, because he did a panel there as well. And then I saw his panel again in Anaheim. Was hoping that they'd do one in London, and I was surprised that he did not, but he did come out for the panel for the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary panel. And again, so fun. Him and Ian McDiarmid are fun together. Anaheim was a little different because it wasn't Warwick with him, which was a little disappointing. But it was still good. It was still good. The Orlando one, I think the Orlando and the Chicago one with Warwick Davis were probably my favorites. The Orlando one, they did a lot of merchandise, C-3PO merchandising, and they talked about a lot of that. Chicago, he talked a lot about his book, which he did again in a little bit in Anaheim, but Anaheim was pretty audience based. There was a lot of questions from the audience in Anaheim, if I remember correctly. But in Chicago, he talked a lot about his book, which I've never read his book. I'm not a big reader, but I hear his book's pretty awesome. So I really want to read that book at some point. But yeah, so today in 1977, C-3PO was on the cover of People magazine. Pretty awesome, right? Anthony Daniels also being one of the only individuals in all 9 films as C-3PO, and also popping up sometimes in some cameos as well. And he also was in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and Rogue One, with some spots in there as well. So pretty awesome to see him in those other films as well, and continuing to come back. Maybe we'll see him in the future. Who knows? Maybe he'll pop up in in the New Jedi Order movie. That would be my best bet of another movie that he might be in if he's still around. Possibly being alongside Rey at some point. So yeah, that is today in Star Wars history. Let's go ahead and move on to the next little point I was going to bring up today. The Emmy nominations. There was an announcement. If you watch This Week in Star Wars on StarWars.com, you would have seen that there was a lot of Emmy nominations for Lucasfilm and Star Wars series that were released on Disney Plus. 23 total nominations, which kind of just baffles my mind again. That I read more into the statement of Bob Iger with kind of like holding back on more Star Wars content and coming up with more original content, but it almost seems like why stop something that's working? I understand Marvel I think is being overdone, but I don't think really Star Wars is being overdone on Disney Plus. From my understanding, everything's going well. I think everything has been great. I mean, 23 Emmy nominations, doesn't that prove that everything is successful? Because it was all the series. It's Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Mandalorian, even documentaries, Light and Magic, which is amazing. If you've never watched that, it's a excellent documentary series. A lot of it is some stuff that is brought from older documentaries, but the way it was put together by Lawrence Kasdan is just it's so awesome. It really tells the story of Industrial Light and Magic in a way that shows the amazingness of that company. But those 23 nominations, 21 different categories. Those are going to be, we're going to see if any of those win at the 75th Primetime Emmy Awards that will happen in September. So just to kind of go through some of the nominations, Andor was nominated in Outstanding Drama Series, which I agree with. I mean, it's probably my favorite series so far. Andor is. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's not very Star Wars, but that's why I like it, because it's different. I would say that that's original. I think you can still have Star Wars content with it still being original content, because if you make series like Andor, you're doing something different. But it's set in the Star Wars universe. It's not even any couple characters that we know, but it's expanding on characters that we don't know well. And it's telling new stories, but it's just set in a universe. It's connected, but it's not connected. So I think more series like that is the way to go. So 8 nominations for Andor. Obi-Wan Kenobi had just one nomination for Outstanding Limited Anthology Series, because remember, it's only six episodes, so that was a limited anthology series. So that got a nomination for that. And also had a total of 5 nominations. Obi-Wan did. I'm sorry, I said that. It actually had 5 total nominations. The Mandalorian has a total of 9 nominations, so the most out of all 3. The Mandalorian. And then, of course, we had Light and Magic as well, receiving a nomination. So Andor, Outstanding Drama Series, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series, cinematography for a half-hour series, The Mandalorian, Chapter 20, The Foundling, outstanding cinematography for a series 1 hour, Andor, Rick's Road, which amazing. That's one of the finale episodes, or the finale episode, which was awesome. Outstanding fantasy sci-fi costumes. So we got costumes nominations from The Mandalorian for Chapter 22, Guns for Hire. We also have costumes for Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 1. So the first episode there. So they'll be going head-to-head. Outstanding directing for a drama series, Andor, Rick's Road. Benjamin Carson directed that. Again, that was the finale, so amazing. Second nomination for that season finale there. Outstanding picture editing for a limited or anthology series or movie, Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 6, so the last episode, which was an amazing episode. Outstanding period and or character hairstyling, The Mandalorian Chapter 19, The Convert, which I don't really know, I don't really see the hairstylish, because isn't everybody wearing a helmet? I don't really. I'll have to go back and watch that one to see what hairstyles were amazing in that one. Outstanding period and or character makeup, The Mandalorian Chapter 22, Guns for Hire. Outstanding music composition for a series, Andor Rick's Road. Brilliant music in Nicholas Britell. Andor had amazing soundtrack, amazing score. Outstanding music composition for a documentary series or special, Light and Magic, Gang of Outsiders episode. So James Newton Howard was the composer there. Outstanding original main title theme music, Andor. Again, Nicholas Britell on that original main title theme, which again, I love that soundtrack, that composition for that series was amazing. Outstanding sound editing for a comedy or drama series, Andor the Eye. Can't remember which episode that was, but outstanding sound editing for a comedy or drama series, half hour, and animation, The Mandalorian Chapter 24, The Return. Outstanding sound editing for a limited or anthology series, Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 6. Outstanding sound mixing for a limited or anthology series, Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 6. Outstanding sound mixing for a comedy or drama series, half hour, The Mandalorian Chapter 24, The Return. Outstanding visual effects in a season or a movie, Andor gets a nomination for that, and The Mandalorian. Outstanding stunt coordination for a limited drama series, The Mandalorian, of course. I mean, look at the stunts in that. Outstanding stunt performance, Chapter 24, The Mandalorian, The Return. Outstanding writing for a drama series, Andor, One Way Out. Awesome episode. That one was written by Bo Willimon. So, and that was the last one. So, yeah, so congrats to all of those amazing nominations, all those people behind all of the stunt performances, the costumes, the hair, the makeup, the sound, the music, so much being brought to attention by those series that really make those amazing Star Wars series. And I hope we get more and more and more. We'll find out on September 18th if any of them won. That is when the Emmy Awards will be held. So again, congratulations to all that were nominated for those different awards. We're going to move on a little bit. Oops. Where am I? Gotta get to my... Here we go. Another announcement that was made was that we are going to be getting new Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures episodes. And they're coming real soon. This was announced. I don't even know if we kind of knew this was coming or not. I didn't know. I mean, I knew that we were supposed to get more, but I didn't think they were going to do it in a way that they were going to do it, where releasing some and then a few more and then a few more, because it seems like they're releasing them in 3 different blocks. Because we got the first season, the first episodes were dropped on May the 4th. We're getting more of this 25 episode run of season 1. We're going to get those drop on August the 2nd. August the 2nd is when they come out. So can't wait for that. We'll be able to talk about that the following week. I think they're just going to drop 2 and then have them come every week, probably leading up to Ahsoka. So that's cool. Not dropping all at once like the last time. And yeah, so 6 new episodes. So we'll get 2 in the first, and then there'll be 5 more. Well, 6 more episodes. It'd be basically 2 a week, I'm guessing. Because 6 more, because it's 2 a week. It's 2 in each episode. So 6 episodes total. I'm guessing that's how it's working, unless they're considering an episode the 2 shorts. I don't know how they're considering that. So it's either going to be 6 weeks or 3 weeks of episodes. But yeah, so I enjoy the Young Jedi Adventures. I know a lot of people with kids that enjoy it. Their kids have kind of taken to that little series with the Jedi younglings, Kai Brightstar, Liz Soleil, and Nubs. Who doesn't love Nubs? Nubs is an awesome character, voiced by D. Bradley Baker. I say voiced loosely because he's kind of got his own little language, which is really awesome. He's like a little teddy bear. He's a lot of fun. I got to get my Nubs doll. I really got to get my Nubs plushie at some point. But it's set during the High Republic, which is cool. This is the first time we've ever seen anything on screen from the High Republic. And we get Yoda popping up every now and then in that series, which is really cool. There's also Master Zia, which is really awesome. She's like the Jedi Master that kind of mentors these young Jedi on the Jedi Temple of Tanu. We have that awesome pilot Nash Durango, which is so much fun. There's actually, well, I'll say that in a minute. Nash Durango has her awesome little droid RJ-83, which still waiting for an RJ-83 robot to come up somewhere. RJ-83, obviously a nod to Return of the Jedi, coming out in 1983. And then they're kind of sometimes having these little clashes with this pirate, Tabor Valdorn. There is a little interview of the two actors, voice actors that voice those two characters of Nash Durango and Tabor on StarWars.com. If you want to take a watch of This Week in Star Wars, you get a little dive into their characters a little bit and see the people behind the voice, which is really awesome. The new episodes are going to follow the younglings as they continue to hone their Force abilities, explore the galaxy, which is a lot of fun. So they go on a lot of different adventures, and it's good for the whole family. So it's good fun. So looking forward to that. August 2nd, we're going to get some more Young Jedi adventures. We're also going to we're also going to we're seeing a lot of stuff getting announced for San Diego Comic-Con. One thing I just want to mention is that really good friends of mine, if you are going to San Diego Comic-Con, check out the Heroes of the Halcyon panel. They're going to be doing a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I hope it somehow gets streamed somewhere or recorded, because I'm sure they're going to at least record it and showcase it later. But I would love to actually see it live and support them, at least from my home, if I can. But because I'll probably be working, so I don't really know. But yeah, I would love to be there to support them, but not this year. Maybe one time I'll get to San Diego Comic-Con at some point. But a lot of exclusive merchandise has been announced for San Diego Comic-Con. Nothing that really jumped out at me, honestly. There is some cool artwork that looks like it's going to be there. There's a artist by the name of Shag, Josh Agel. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He has a really cool print that's going to be limited to 200 pieces. That's going to be there, and it's the battle at the Great Pit of Carkoon from Return of the Jedi, and just the angle of it, the way it looks, it's a beautiful piece. But that's going to be something that's going to be available there. There's geeky Shag by Geeky Tiki's his Aloha shirt. Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary looks really cool. Like, I'm not really into these style of shirts with like everything on them, but yeah, I mean, this is my Return of the Jedi shirt that's loud, so I probably wouldn't get that if I saw it, but so that's going to be some stuff that you're going to see from San Diego Comic-Con that will be released. And then a lot of other exclusives at San Diego Comic-Con. A Tamagotchi, Grogu. If you remember those little Tamagotchis back in the day, this one is Grogu inspired. It's a limited edition. First to market's going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. It will come with a commemorative display case, but it also includes a Beskar inspired design, shell design for it. So it looks pretty cool. If you're into that sort of Japanese merchandise, which some of it's pretty cool, some of it's pretty weird. I like it. I get a kick out of it. I've never like collected any of it, but it looks pretty cool. Action figures by Beast Kingdom. These are kind of like oversized posable action figures, like with the kind of like the bigger heads. I don't even know if I've ever seen these before, but they're gonna have the Han Solo and Luke Skywalker and Stormtrooper disguise, and they're doing their first to market there at San Diego Comic-Con. Shag by Geeky Tiki's Beeline Creative is releasing 40th anniversary Star Wars Return of the Jedi mugs, as well as one of them with Jabba the Hutt, another one with Jabba the Hutt with a Salacious B. Crumb swizzle stick, a coaster 4-pack, the Aloha shirt that I said before, a set of highball glasses featuring Max Rebo Band, which those are really cool looking. If anything, probably would have gotten those. Those are pretty awesome. So those are going to be in limited quantities there at San Diego Comic-Con. Oh, you can also get them online. That might be a purchase of mine. We'll see. Citizen Watches, if you're a watch fan, I'm not really a watch fan, has an exclusive Grogu, Mandalorian, Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, Rebel Pilot, TIE Fighter, Millennium Falcon watches that are going to be exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con. Star Wars Hyperspace Stories Annual by Dark Horse has an issue with Jackson. I don't have my Jackson pin anywhere, but Jackson the Rabbit there's going to be an exclusive variant cover by Mike Mignola, who did the Star Wars Hyperspace Stories Annual. It's a black and white, looks like, if that's the final version. Eyewear by Diff. I'm a big Diff eyewear fan. I've bought their glasses. They're really amazing. They are going to have some Mandalorian-inspired eyeglasses there to celebrate the Mandalorian. A Beskar-inspired frame for Din Djarin, and frames paying homage to Bo-Katan, the Armorer, and Paz Vizsla as well. So, interested to see those. I hope they're not exclusive. It doesn't look like it. It looks like it's first to market there, so I'll be looking at those when they come out. Tales of Light and Life. Basically, Star Wars The High Republic, new anthology, first to market there at San Diego Comic-Con. If you're a fan of those books, you'll be able to pick that up early. Enzo rings. I am a fan of Enzo rings. I have my Rebel Enzo ring on right now. For the 40th anniversary of Star Wars Return of the Jedi, there's going to be a Salacious B. Crumb exclusive ring there. I don't like the characters on the ring, so, but it looks pretty cool. It's almost like got that orange color, that bronze color that my Rebel ring has. If you can kind of see that, you can't really see the Rebel on it, but Funko Pops, if you're a big into there's a bobblehead Funko for young Leia that's going to be first to market there. She's got her little Lola in her hand. And then there's also going to be a Darth Vader Funko Soda Pop, limited to 4,500. And 1 in 6 of those has a Chase variant in translucent vinyl. So Gentle Giant has some collectibles, R2-D2 1/6 scale, Pre-Vizsla 1/6 scale, 1/6 scale of Luke Skywalker training in the Force, and a 1/7 mini bust of Hunter from Star Wars Bad Batch. Holiday decorations by Hallmark. Keepsake ornaments will be there. There's going to be a Darth Revan, Chrysanthemum, Boba Fett in Funko Pop form, available only at San Diego Comic-Con. Star Wars The Vintage Collection by Hasbro will have Chrysanthemum exclusively at San Diego Comic-Con. Her Universal apparel will be there. New apparel by Ahsoka, Luke, Rey, Padme will be available there. Also online as well, so you don't have to be there to get that. Apparel and accessories by Hero and Villains. Return of the Jedi sweatshirt and 4-piece pin set will be San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. And then a line of apparel inspired by the original trilogy, The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and more will be first to market there as well. Micro Galaxy Squadrons, if you're a fan of those, there's going to be X-Wings, A-Wings, TIE Interceptors, Galaxy, all those being exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con, and then a Chrysanthemum inflatable costume. Bags by Loungefly, Chrysanthemum be first to market there, which will have and then mini backpacks featuring the TIE Fighter and AT-AT. Hot Wheels will be celebrating Star Wars 40th anniversary with a first to market Hot Wheels Starships Select ATST, including Chewbacca. Random House Books will have a special convention edition of Inquisitor Rise of the Red Blade, which actually was just released, I believe, today. You can pick up a copy of that book now. So, pretty interesting story. I was reading a little bit about that. Jewelry by Rock Love, Crystal Lightsaber line, necklaces, earrings, rings, first to market there. Characters inspired by Ahsoka, Leia, Rey, Kylo, and a Darksaber sparkling version. And then also R2-D2 BB-8 necklaces as well. Model kits by Spin Master, a do-it-yourself N1 Starfighter, exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con. And then lastly, Star Wars Card Trader by Topps, card number 0 from the 2023 Star Wars box set is available exclusively at San Diego Comic-Con. So, lots of stuff. Not a lot of stuff that I was like super excited about. Otherwise, I'd have been like texting people like, "Hey, can you give me this? Hey, can you give me this?" But nothing really that jumped out at me, honestly. But yeah, if you're going to San Diego Comic-Con, I hope you enjoy it. I know a lot of people that are going. I know some people are going to be hitting up Mos Eisley while they're there. Another thing that at some point in my life, I'm going to get to one of those. I believe that they're going to be doing a East Coast one next. That is what's rumored anyway. So I would love to see that. So I'm going to attempt to show you my Cantano since it's the end of this episode, and give you guys, anybody that's listened all the way through, watched all the way through, a preview of what is going to be inside my Cantano. So bear with me here. If you're listening to this later, you're not going to be able to see this. But we're going to drag this over here. Then I'm going to easily lift this up. I only have one door open for it. Ooh, it's heavy too. This is going to be a beast. Anyway, you can see all the goodies inside. So try to get a little bit closer so you can see some of the chips in there. But that is my load of credits that is coming on the Halcyon with me. Hopefully this handle doesn't break. I didn't realize how heavy it was until just now. So I got some chips that like are falling out. So they're going to get thrown in there. As I put in 3, 10 fell out. So that's what that's going to be like. But yeah, in the bottom, like I said, the bottom has a lot of previous gifts that have been given to me. And then all of my chips on top. So you can see maybe the orange, yellow, and purple. I'll kind of do that. Not really show you up close, but just a little glimpse of those chips that I will be giving out on the Star Cruiser. So, and if I have any left over, you might be able to catch me somewhere across Disney property with those walking around. So that is going to be it for tonight. Thank you all for joining in. We got a lot of work to do for 1 week. So we're going to make this happen. We're going to hopefully have a great time on the Halcyon together as one. Probably won't see me tomorrow, but Thursday, look for me on Instagram in the afternoon for a Today in Star Wars live stream on my Instagram page. My Instagram is The Crucial Crew Member. You can always follow me on there. Please like and subscribe to this channel, The Crucial Crew Member, as I always go live once a week. If you like it, more people might subscribe. Maybe eventually we can start doing more. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Eventually, I want to try to get somebody to come in and sit, and we'll do some interview style stuff. So, but that's just kind of a work in progress with scheduling, which is kind of tough. But yeah, like and subscribe, share with others. Until next time, do something Star Wars. Make sure that you're watching Star Wars, reading Star Wars, listening to Star Wars, anything Star Wars. Pete saying excited, very busy for next week, doing a first test of new head tattoos. Oh, that's awesome. I got to actually do test of makeup is what I got to work on. So I might have to do that tomorrow a little bit. Go through that, get kind of more of a ease of doing that so that I can get that done pretty quickly next week. So some will probably be testing that tomorrow. But yeah, it will be a very busy week. So again, until next time, do something Star Wars. But whatever you're doing, make sure that the stars light your way. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for joining.